Okay.
Hey guys, and welcome to Tnashi's Movie Corner. And for today's movie review, I will be reviewing The Crazies, which came out February 26th of 2010 and was directed by Breck Eisner. And I'm not even going to attempt to say the stars' names because I tend to butcher names. So just know that. First of all, this is a remake. So, a lot of times remakes don't seem to work, or people aren't very crazy about them. But, this movie is about the inhabitants of a small Iowa town who get plagued by insanity and then death after a mysterious toxin contaminates their water supply. So this movie, initially when I thought about this movie, I thought it was going to be more like a zombie film. I know, well, we've seen a lot of zombie films, or at least I had, and I tend to like zombie films, so I thought, okay, sure, why not? Let's go ahead and see what this movie's about. And as you can tell by the little synopsis that I gave you, it's not about zombies. Probably should have seen that coming, but I think some of the trailers made me suspect that there was a little bit of zombie action going on or what have you. And that wasn't really the focus of the movie. The movie has about, again, about these people who start going insane and killing other people. And you got this sheriff, David, who has to, he's trying to figure out what's going on because they don't know at first, but then the military comes in and seals off the town and everything. And there's this whole bit about him trying to escape with his wife and with his deputy. And I'm gonna say there's not as much mystery to it. It's labeled as a horror mystery thriller. There's not as much mystery to it, at least not after probably the first, I'd say 25 minutes tops. You pretty much get what's going on. There are definitely a few horror aspects of it, mostly jump scares. Jump scares are fine as long as they're used effectively, but there's definitely quite a bit of tension. There's a shot where there's a bunch of people who are tied down to these beds, and then you have one of the crazies walking through with a pitchfork, and he starts stabbing them, and that was a really well done shot. I really like that. And then you have a moment with a car wash, which I didn't think was as effective. So you've got some scenes that work and some scenes that don't. I think the movie dragged on too long, so I would have preferred it to be a little bit more condensed. It's 101 minutes long. I do think they could have cut down a little bit on it. It just seemed to drag out a little too much. But there are some moments that actually worked pretty well, stood out pretty well. Not really as scary moments, but just tension building moments. And as far as the plot is concerned, I mean, it's fine. I wasn't too crazy about it, but at the same time, I think it worked well enough. I'm not a big fan of the ending. I kind of knew where the film was headed, before the ending happening, and it did. This movie is they label it as a reinvention of the George A. Romero classic. I've not seen the original. A lot of times I don't end up seeing the original before I see the remake, so I don't know how it stands up in comparison to the original. For all I know, the original did it better than this one. I don't blame the acting per se. I think the acting was fine. It just it felt like it was lacking a bit, and it was lacking for me. It was lacking in some of the horror places. That tends to be a consistent thing that pops up, and at least more of these recent films. But the story was lacking a little bit for me. Maybe it's because I've seen this kind of thing happen all too much, or maybe it's because they didn't focus as much on the actual crazies as they did about getting away from the town. I don't really know. Visually, the movie looks fine. I can't complain about that. And I do, like I said, I think the movie dragged on quite a bit too long. It does have scenes that work really well, like I said, but it's got a lot of scenes that just don't deliver like I thought they would. But like I said, you've got the scene with the pitchfork or everything, and there's, I think, a scene in the morgue, which up to a point works just fine. So you've definitely got some of that there. Acting overall was fine. I just wasn't impressed by it. So rating it 1 through 10, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. I've seen a lot of better films. The story's not impressive, and when the story's not impressive, then the acting should be, and the acting wasn't impressive. It was fine. And there wasn't really any scares. There was a few cheap scare moments. There was a couple tension building moments which were good, but there was a couple moments like the car wash scene that I'm just like, wow, really? I get what you're trying to do, but it's a little too obvious, and dragging on the movie and giving it the conclusion that it did just left a lot to be desired. But anyway, that's my opinion on it. Have you guys seen it? What did you think? Go ahead and let me know in the comments. Hopefully you enjoyed this vid, and click that like button, and make sure to subscribe to my channel and watch my other vids. I really appreciate hearing from you guys, and until next time, peace.